We ranked 12 peanut butter brands from worst to best for heart health. The biggest differences were not protein or calories, they were added sugar, sodium, saturated fat, fiber, ingredient simplicity, and how easy each product is to use in a realistic serving. This ranking uses current public labels checked in July 2026. A lower position does not mean a jar is poisonous or unsafe. It means competing products offered a more favorable heart-focused profile. Formulas, prices, and store availability can change, so always compare the jar in your hand. Now let us begin with number 12. At number 12 is Skippy Reduced Fat Creamy Peanut Butter Spread. The words reduced fat may sound like an automatic heart health advantage. The label tells a more complicated story. A 2-tablespoon serving contains 190 calories, 2 grams of saturated fat, 170 milligrams of sodium, 1 gram of fiber, and 4 grams of added sugar. The ingredient list also includes corn syrup solids, sugar, pea protein, hydrogenated vegetable oil, mono and diglycerides, added minerals, and vitamins. Its positive feature is lower saturated fat than several standard creamy products. However, the extra added sugar, lower fiber, higher sodium, and longer formulation pull it down. Our verdict is lowest ranked option. Reduced fat does not always mean nutritionally stronger. Number 11 is Skippy Creamy Peanut Butter. This is widely available, affordable, smooth, and familiar. It provides 7 grams of protein per serving, but it also contains 2 grams of added sugar and 150 milligrams of sodium. Saturated fat is 3 grams, while fiber is only 2 grams. The ingredients include roasted peanuts, sugar, hydrogenated vegetable oil, and salt. This does not make it dangerous. The concern is simply that several jars provide no added sugar, more fiber, and less sodium. Skippy ranks as a limit or reconsider option for shoppers making heart-focused comparisons. Number 10 is Jif Creamy Peanut Butter. Jif performs similarly to standard Skippy but with slightly lower sodium. 2 tablespoons provide 190 calories, 3½ grams of saturated fat, 140 milligrams of sodium, 2 grams of fiber, 2 grams of added sugar, and 7 grams of protein. Jif also uses sugar, molasses, fully hydrogenated vegetable oils, mono and diglycerides, and salt. Its major advantage is convenience. It is easy to find and does not require stirring. Still, its added sugar, modest fiber, and higher saturated fat keep it in the lower group. Our verdict is limit or reconsider. Before you reach for the next jar, notice the first important shopping pattern. A peanut butter can contain mostly peanuts and still differ meaningfully from another jar. 2 grams of added sugar sounds small, but peanut butter is often eaten with sweetened bread, jelly, honey, or even flavored oatmeal. The entire meal matters more than one isolated number. Number 9 is Peter Pan Creamy Peanut Butter. This classic jar is purchased for its smooth texture, value, and broad availability. Current versions commonly combine roasted peanuts with sweeteners, vegetable oils, and salt. Its heart health limitation is the same pattern seen in the other conventional spreads. Added sweetness, a stabilized formulation, and, well, less ingredient simplicity than natural alternatives. It can still fit into a balanced diet, especially when the serving is measured. However, shoppers who eat peanut butter daily have stronger choices with no added sugar. Peter Pan lands in the acceptable to limit range. Number 8 is Justin's Classic Peanut Butter. This premium product has a relatively short ingredient list and no strongly sweetened flavor profile. It is convenient because the texture stays smoother than many peanut-only jars. The trade-off is its use of palm oil, which contributes saturated fat. It also tends to cost more per ounce than mainstream jars. Justin's is not a poor product. It simply does not win on value or saturated fat when compared with simpler natural peanut butters. Our verdict is acceptable. Number 7 is Jif Simply Creamy Unsweetened. This product is a meaningful improvement over standard Jif. It contains peanuts, palm oil, and a small amount of salt. There is no added sugar. 2 tablespoons provide 200 calories, 3½ grams of saturated fat, only 55 milligrams of sodium, 3 grams of fiber, and 8 grams of protein. That low sodium level is a major strength. The limitation is palm oil and the resulting saturated fat. Jif Simply is a good bridge for shoppers who dislike oil separation but want to avoid added sugar. Our verdict is acceptable, bordering on good. Now the ranking begins to change. The next products are mostly built around 1 or 2 ingredients, but even among simple jars, sodium and saturated fat still separate the middle from the leaders. Number 6 is Smucker's Natural Creamy Peanut Butter. The ingredient list is refreshingly short. Peanuts and less than 1% salt. It contains no added sugar and provides 8 grams of protein and 3 grams of fiber. A serving has 190 calories, 3 grams of saturated fat, and 110 milligrams of sodium. That sodium is still modest compared with many conventional brands. The main inconvenience is natural oil separation, which requires stirring. Once mixed, refrigeration can help maintain texture. Smucker's earns a good option verdict and is one of the strongest widely available choices. Number 5 is Teddie All-Natural Smooth Peanut Butter. Teddie uses peanuts and a pinch of salt. It delivers the simple profile many shoppers expect from natural peanut butter. It generally provides 8 grams of protein, about 3 grams of fiber, and no added sugar. Its main limitation is sodium compared with unsalted versions from the same company and other brands. Availability can also be less consistent outside certain regions. Still, Teddie performs well because it avoids sweeteners and unnecessary stabilizers. Our verdict is good option. Number 4 is Cruz Organic Dark Roasted Creamy Peanut Butter. This jar stands out for organic peanuts, a short ingredient list, no added sugar, and a richer roasted flavor. Depending on the exact salted version, sodium remains relatively low. Its drawbacks are price and availability. It may cost noticeably more than store brands or conventional peanut butter. Dark roasting changes flavor, not the basic rule of portion control. 2 tablespoons remain calorie-dense. Even so, Santa Cruz offers a strong ingredient profile. Our verdict is good option. Here is the serving size issue many shoppers miss. 2 tablespoons can look surprisingly small when spread thickly. Peanut butter contains useful plant protein and mostly unsaturated fat, but it is energy-dense. 4 tablespoons double every number on the label. Measuring occasionally can help you learn what your usual serving actually looks like. Number 3 is Smucker's Organic Creamy Peanut Butter. This product contains organic peanuts and a small amount of salt. The current label lists 180 calories, 2 grams of saturated fat, 50 milligrams of sodium, 3 grams of fiber, 0 added sugar, and 8 grams of protein per 2 tablespoons. That combination is excellent for this ranking. It offers less saturated fat and sodium than many competitors while keeping the ingredient list simple. The drawbacks are stirring, potential oil separation, and a higher price than budget jars. Our verdict is best choice. Number 2 is Teddie Unsalted All-Natural Smooth Peanut Butter. This jar is made from peanuts without added salt. Removing sodium gives it a clear advantage for people who are already consuming plenty of sodium elsewhere. It also contains no added sugar and avoids palm oil or stabilizing oils. The natural peanut fat is predominantly unsaturated, although the product still contains some saturated fat and remains calorie-dense. Unsalted peanut butter may taste flat to shoppers accustomed to sweetened brands. Pairing it with fruit, cinnamon, or whole-grain toast can add flavor without turning the jar into dessert. Teddie Unsalted is our best low-sodium choice. So, coming in at number 1 is Crazy Richard's Creamy Peanut Butter. Its ingredient list is, well, just one word: peanuts. There's no added sugar, no added salt, and no stabilizing oil at all. That really gives shoppers complete control over sweetness and sodium. Plus, it keeps the focus on the natural nutrient profile of peanuts, things like plant protein, fiber, and mostly unsaturated fat. Of course, the trade-offs are pretty familiar. The oil separates, and the texture can get a bit runny after stirring. Also, availability and price can vary depending on where you live. And just to be clear, it's not automatically better for someone with a peanut allergy or if you're on a medical diet that requires individualized limits. But, under the criteria we used in this video, Crazy Richard's is the best overall choice. So, what should you buy? For the simplest overall jar, choose Crazy Richard's. If you want an unsalted option, Teddie Unsalted is a great pick. For a widely available natural choice, Smucker's Natural is really hard to beat. Smucker's Organic offers one of the strongest label combinations when your budget allows it, and Jif Simply Unsweetened is useful for shoppers who want low sodium and no added sugar, but without that heavy oil separation. Use this 5-second label check. First, look for peanuts as the first ingredient. Second, prefer 0 grams of added sugar. Third, compare sodium using the same serving size. Fourth, check saturated fat and fiber. Fifth, remember that natural reduced fat and organic do not replace the nutrition facts panel. Peanut butter can fit within a heart-healthy dietary pattern, especially when it replaces foods richer in saturated fat. But, one jar cannot determine your cardiovascular health. Your overall diet, serving size, body weight, activity, smoking status, blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes risk, and family history matter far more. Which peanut butter is currently in your kitchen? Share the exact version below, because one brand may sell several different formulas. Subscribe for more evidence-based grocery rankings. This ranking is educational and does not diagnose or treat heart disease. If you have cardiovascular disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, a peanut allergy, or another medical condition, speak with a qualified doctor or registered dietitian. Your personal needs may differ from a general product ranking. Subscribe for more.